Hello. Hello. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Um, hello. Let me see who's here. What's going on? I haven't been live all day. I've been busy. So honestly, okay. I got like a massage machine. I know it's weird. But I used that yesterday, and you guys, like, are you supposed to be this sore after a massage? I don't remember this being so bad, but like I can barely move. So if I look like a statue today like this, it's because I'm sore. But anyways, hello, welcome back. I'm just telling you about random shit. Um, we are going, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Let me say hi to everyone. Let me see who's here. Patty, Asani, born twice. Hello, hello. Hi, Ramon. Hey, the real Julie. What up? What's going on with you guys? Tell me. Edith, Janie, Jack. Did I say Evie? Hi, Evie. Lori, Crees, CM. Hello, hello. Thank you guys all for being here. I realized as I was going on, definitely please make sure you guys hit the like button. I have to remind you guys to do that more, but it does really help push out the content. So I really appreciate it. A heating pad may help. I didn't even think of that. See? I should have done a members only earlier, and you probably would have told me that, and I probably would have done it. But I will do that tonight. Thank you. Hello, Witchy. I realized I had way too much on my plate today for this live. I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to go through all of it, but we'll definitely be live tomorrow so we can finish it then. I have 9 letters. One I can't read at all, so we're just going to kind of skim through that. And then I have 5 documents and 2 videos. So I have a lot. So whatever I don't get to today, we'll finish tomorrow. Sorry you're hitting hot shower. I know. I'm like, wow. It's just like an at-home one too. So I'm like, did I do this wrong? Like, it's not rocket science. You just like put it on your shoulders. But it's like one of the nice ones. It like heats up, it moves all around. It's pretty good. I got it on Amazon actually. But yeah, I didn't realize, but I was reading online and it says like the muscles are releasing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, if it's been a while, it probably would hurt. But anyways, okay. So what I wanted to start off with first is White Boy Lockdown Radio. If you guys don't know who that is, he does have a channel here on YouTube. He's a friend. Shout out to White Boy. He lets people drink lots of water. That I need to do. I've drank not as much as I usually do today, but I should. So we're just gonna kind of touch on the White Boy stuff. You can go watch his full stream. Good to see Amanda. You can watch his full stream on his channel. Like I'm just gonna play a little clip of it, but he's cool with it. And I've always been cool with White Boy, and I don't care about anything in the past. Like with him, because I know JLR is like on his ass too. So that doesn't matter. What the problem here is that JLR went out and got a restraining order on White Boy this week, which I'm just a little frustrated because like we want justice for Magnolia. One case is like pending or closed, and the others, I think, pending. So I will drop the information down below. So how to help Magnolia. But then, he's doing his thing out there with the Nancy Guthrie case, which we all think is a waste of time, but he's just grifting, right? And you don't need to be sitting outside Nancy's house. Like, I think we've gotten past that point, but he went and got a restraining order on White Boy because White Boy and Nerdy did a protest like down the street from his house, or I don't even know if it was like the street over, to be honest. Nowhere near his house. And people have been pressing on his neck on JLRs. I've been covering it. I know some creators are scared to cover it. Plunder, my girl Plunder, shout out to her. love me some Plunder. I consider her like my YouTube friend for sure. But she's been doing, her little she's great at like FOIAs and stuff. Bless her heart. Cause I did a FOIA today and I'm like, "Ugh, this is hard. Like it's time consuming." But she's been on it on JLR too. And so there's another creator who got her channel taken down last week, allegedly because of JLR. But which is insane because it's like, how is that person who has created so much havoc, d- uh, you know, getting other people's channels taken down? It's really messed up. Regardless of who it is and what they're doing, I try to have respect for everyone, but it sucks. I've known people who had their channel taken down. So that's the thing. But anyway, so allegedly the person who got the channel removed thinks that, they were showing JLR content, a video, letters, and JLR, I think, reported it and did whatever he had to do. But don't forget that JLR may be JLR, but JLR knows how to write lawsuits. JLR knows the law for a lot of states. JLR is familiar with fraud, wire fraud or whatever, um, hacking, trolling, alleged beating women. No, that's not funny at all, the domestic violence part. But he's been in prison for 10 years because of all of these charges. And so somehow allegedly he got someone's channel taken down and then he files an on White Boy with nothing but lies. White Boy streamed the live with Nerdy um when he was there. We've watched the live on here a little bit and I watched the full thing myself. So at the time, like in real time, and JLR is like accusing him of going to his door and like kicking his door. None of that happened. And there's a plethora of lies that JLR has made up in there. So now White Boy has to spend money to get a lawyer and do have to basically go deal with this in a courtroom with JLR. So I'm gonna play like a few minutes of the clip from White Boy's live so you guys can kind of hear about it, and then we'll get into everything else I have. But I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention if it wasn't already there. That this is who JLR is. And rather than trying to be a better person and make himself look better after the Magnolia situation, it seems like he's just out to get anyone who's willing to tell the truth about him. And we have done that here. And I do just want to note that I know JLR has mental health problems. That doesn't change anything about the things he shouldn't be doing, like breaking Magnolia's nose. But I do just want to remind, I want to be empathetic of the whole mental health situation because it is something, very difficult. And if you don't take care of yourself properly, that could be an issue, right? And so I just do want to note that although I think he's a complete lunatic, there's other factors that I think play into all of it. So let's play the White Boy Locked on Radio, and then we'll go over a clip of his ex. I have an interview that I don't know if I'm going to get to tonight because I have a lot of docs, but I do have an interview that JLR did with someone on their channel, and I want to play it. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I have a blog that I kind of want to go over with you. I have a letter he wrote to James Holmes, and there's prison letters, some articles. Let's just get started with it. So here is the White Boy Locked on Radio. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hello, Rescue. Hello, Mandy. Okay, thank you, Real Jilly. Yeah, the water. You know what, Amanda? I must have needed it, girl. It's been a while. Like, I feel really good, but it's like the pain that feels good. Hello, Beautifully Broken. I know I'm on later. I had stuff to do. Um, okay. I'm just touching base with the comments real quick. You were on time. Hello, Kim Wants. I'm just seeing your guys' comments. Hello, Sarah. Why isn't JLR banned? Well, I think I don't know. I know he makes a lot of money on YouTube, so his ass should be banned. I agree. You covered the JLR best. Yeah, I was gonna do the book reading today, but I was like, "Ugh," every time I wanna go back, finish the book, I'll take pot kettle. It says I'll take pot kettle for 500. Yeah, you know, whatever, even if I don't like someone or get along with someone, which is like very rare, to be honest, because I would say I'm pretty laid back. Um, I saw the full video and JLR made up a bunch of lies. Molly was a name a while ago. Kim, I would have to say I agree with you, but that's for another. I want to do a members only either later or tomorrow. So many people have mental health issues, but don't act like pieces of shit. Exactly. That's what I was saying. I don't, but I think there's something like seriously wrong too. I think he's a troll. He's not a good person, but I think there's like that mental health thing too. Yeah, taking meds is important. You have to know. You have that responsibility, you know, when you have mental health issues to take care of yourself and like make sure you're on your medications, make sure you're staying healthy, make sure you're staying positive. Hello, randomly. I don't know who it is. White boy? Why isn't he banned? Yeah, I don't know. I know I have that same question. Ban my ass. He belongs in mental health confinement. Okay, let's watch this white boy clip.
Really busy. So the other day I did a video, and I tell you there's police here. So a lot of you have probably already heard, but hear it from the horse's mouth, get the truth. I was served a restraining order. Now, initially in that video my last video, I said that I was going to be very transparent, read the whole thing over with you guys and all of that. And I normally, that's how I am, right? I'm not dodging this at all, but I kind of work awkward hours. Can we meet by? And then I have to go to work, not to right afterwards. Okay. Meat potatoes is I don't have time to do anything with this thing, right? But I did read it, and boy, oh boy, I'm not going to read the whole thing on live today. We have a lawyer. That's why I dropped the links. Look, y'all, it's official.
He's basically saying he's not going to read the RO. It's really long. I'm really interested to hear what that RO says, because White Boy was telling me that, you know, there's a lot in there, and I'm telling the live that's not accurate, and there's receipts for all of that. You know, White Boy has all his lives, and so I'm nervous for him. Not that I don't think White Boy has enough receipts and he's telling the truth. I believe that, but because JLR is JLR, you know, like as much as you have money and you can have receipts on everybody, it's like dealing with the lawsuit is stressful enough mentally and emotionally, right? It's just like, oh, something, you know, you have to worry about and pay for and go to court for. And who the hell likes going to court anyways? Plunder will get the RO, I bet you. Yeah, White Boy actually gave me permission to send her the live. So I love Plunder, and I will never allow any disrespect of her on my channel. I think she's a good person, and she does a phenomenal job at what she does. She's the queen of foyas.
I literally opened the courtroom door.
Sure, she'll
as
be
they
on.
said my last name. That's how like I can't even. It's like literally as they were saying my last name. I'm tired.
He's talking about showing up to court,
right? And there's so much untruth to that. Let
me go back a little bit.
Allegations, if you will. It is horrendous with the untruths. An example, and I'll share briefly in a little bit to give you a little bit of taste. So when I went to protest with Nerdy, there's an allegation that I was kicking the door, the front door. Now, that's a wild allegation. That's a wild allegation, right? And there's so much untruth to that I really wish I could share with you. I mean, you guys were all y'all saw, y'all were there.
As much as I want to hear it, I told them don't. Just I know it's public information. We all know that. We could go check it for you. I just think he's dealing with this already. Like, just let someone else get it, so that later JLR is not like, oh, he was reading it and he harassing me. You know how JLR is.
That's not what I'm talking about. There's things that it's crazy. I find myself in a position where, I do critique content a lot and I cover people, get to know how their behavior is and whatnot. And I find myself in a position where that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, here's the claim. I'll just bring the receipt for all of this. And it is crazy, but you guys know there was no kicking of the door. There's so much malarkey is a good word to use, that I feel confident, right? Confident that I could do it myself, right? Yeah. Problem is when you walk in there, and I don't really want to say this is how these things go. I'm going to look at the comments here in a second and you tell me. But normally, from what I understand, is in these proceedings, if one party has a counsel or whatever, the judge will kind of lean their way, right? That doesn't.
So he didn't show up with a lawyer, but JLR did. But he got a lawyer right after the court hearing, and the court hearing is next month. Actually, a couple weeks. I think he messaged. I think he said the first or second week of May.
Has to be true. I don't know, but what I do know is I see what is presented. I know the entire story, as a lot of you do. There's so many receipts to gather to give to counsel. It's pretty wild. You guys were all there. Many of you know that we got permission not only to go out there via email, but permission to do any and everything that we did out there.
I really hope that everything goes in favor of White Boy here, because it's true. They did get permission from the police department to go protest, which is something you can do as a citizen. So they didn't kick down anyone's door. They didn't try to fight him and say, hey, JLR, come down the street so I can, let's fight. Nothing like that. It was nothing like that. They actually went out there with a mannequin named Jim. Nerdy made a mannequin, and they were holding out signs for Magnolia, which, how is that different than the signs you're holding outside with other people from YouTube for Nancy Guthrie? It's literally the same freaking thing.
Jim made the remember Jim made the protection order, but we have a lot of things here, a lot of stuff. And why I don't want to break it down and read it is because some of the things are so I don't know if it's bad information, if it's I don't know, I don't care, but I'm not going to.
Oh, I just saw that. Thank you, Neat Noodle, coming in on the ATS raid. Oh, she sent you guys over here. I love ATS. She's my girl. Thank God for the First Amendment. Listen, and this is like a tactic. It's one of JLR's tactic, to get people to not cover him. No one wants to lose their channel. No one wants to have a restraining order. So it really pisses me off that he's was allowed to get an RO over this. Like, it really pisses me off because the police allowed it and he's lying. But again, I've been reading the lawsuits here and like, look at that. Look at how that goes, you know?
Give anybody ample time to correct. At this point, I'll take it head on, let the truth prevail, and have not worried about a thing. And not at all. Matter of fact, during this live, I may have to take a call from the lawyer. Not sure or not. So if I have to pause this.
So you could go watch the rest of that at White Boy's channel. I just kind of wanted to introduce you guys to what was going on if you didn't already know about it. And I believe on his channel, you can hit him up or send him stuff if you have like receipts, post, or, you know, videos that you think would help White Boy, because I'm like, oh geez, there's a lot, you know, including that post where JLR said, I'm gonna sue every YouTuber. There's that, like, it goes to show you're just doing it for doing it. And with that being said, let's get into this article I wanted to read to you guys. I might have read something similar on a different live, but I have two today, and this is titled "The Litigious Attention-Seeking Resident Admits Mental Illness." I have two of these that I want to read. They're really good articles, so let's go through those really quickly. So this says, a litigious 36-year-old resident who gained national attention recently as an imposter uncle of the Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook Elementary shooter, will remain behind bars for at least 2.5 years. And here's his mugshot. Jonathan Lee Riches of West Goshenship appeared before the Chester County Court Judge Jacqueline Cody on Thursday morning, accused of violating. This was when he was doing the whole Sandy Hook thing. On Thursday morning, accused of violating his probation by traveling to Newton, Connecticut in December without permission. He told the judge he suffered from mental illness and does not always follow his prescribed regimen. I know that I have to take my medications, he said. I need treatment, Your Honor. He acknowledged feeling better since his incarceration, a contradiction to a letter one of his many followers posted on Facebook. Sorry, I have to sneeze. Oh. It like keeps going away. He acknowledged feeling better since his incarceration, a contradiction to a letter one of his many followers posted on Facebook, in which Riches allegedly complained that Chester County Prison was starving him and keeping him in isolation, accusations of prison emphatically denied. Assistant District Attorney Andrea Cardamon told the judge that the offense marked Rich's fourth probation violation since 2000, a history of disturbing infractions that was interrupted while Riches spent 10 years in federal prison for duping AOL customers into giving him personal information that he used to make fraudulent purchases. He was paroled in April. In addition to making harassing, obscene phone calls, Riches has filed forged documents claiming he was working for an Illinois law firm, posted personal data, and included a social security number of his probation officer online, and demonstrated, quote unquote, a kinship with recent mass murderers, Cardamon said, recommending a 1 to 5 year state prison term. Defense attorney Robert J. Donatoni acknowledged that his client needed to be punished. However, he urged 8 to 12-month county sentence. He pointed out that Rich's behavior also prompted a federal detainer. The federal government is waiting to see what happens, Donatoni said, suggesting that the federal's medical facilities are better equipped to meet Rich's needs. He's mentally ill, says his defense attorney. I don't say that as an excuse. I say it as a statement of fact. Donatoni said Riches was delusional enough to file record numbers of lawsuits from federal prison citing a suit against Hurricane Katrina as an example of his client's tenuous grip on reality. The suit, many of which garnered headlines, were so frequent and frivolous that a federal injunction was filed and Riches ended up in solitary confinement, Donatoni said. Before issuing her decision, Cody watched a brief portion of a YouTube video that landed Riches back in prison before indicating that she had seen enough. In the video, Riches talks about being a quote-unquote truth seeker who will determine how Lanza was mind controlled to unload his weapons on school children. I know mental illness is a difficult thing to live with, said Cody, but she said things have been getting worse and worse to the point of causing serious emotional harm to people. And I thought this line right here, I'm like, this is exactly what JLR is doing. We've seen him being manic over the Nancy Guthrie case. I think he gets his mental illnesses gets him obsessed with mass murders and cases, and he just obsesses over it. Like he said on a video, and I'm not even going to play his live, honestly. Shall find the clip because I am not even trying to deal with JLR striking me for playing his video. But he was doing a Nancy Guthrie live and he said it himself. He was like, I'm losing sleep. He's like, I'm not even eating. Like, I'm obsessing over the Nancy Guthrie case. And um, I think with the Magnolia situation, like it's only gotten worse, you know? So this line right here from his defense attorney back in 2013 is actually very truthful. I think that, you know, things have been getting worse to the point of causing serious emotional harm to a lot of people. And that's, he's caused a lot of harm to Magnolia physically and emotionally and people on YouTube and, you know, the Guthrie family, because he's been on Tommaso's ass about Tommaso's responsible and he chased Tommaso down. And listen, I've said this before. If Savannah Guthrie doesn't think it was her family, they haven't been arrested and they've been cleared. We can go, we must run with that. We can have our opinions and disagree. But at the end of the day, Samantha Guthrie has stated that. So I just am respecting that and seeing. By the way, I haven't even updated on that case because that case is bonkers, but let's continue. Rich's parents and family friend attended the hearing. Also in the courtroom was West Goshen Detective David Maurer, one of the officers who has fielded concerns from people across the country, but some of Rich's postings. Police said they have been monitoring Rich since his April release. In fact, that vigilance generated Thursday's hearing. While watching the December video in which Rich's describes approaching the Connecticut residence of Adam Lanza, officers saw Rich's face briefly when he dropped the video camera. Because Rich's has not notified his probation officer of the trip, he was cited for the violation. After the hearing, Donatoni said he's concerned that Rich's will not get the help he needs in state prison. He said he expected federal authorities to impose an additional penalty, although no hearing has been scheduled. He said that the term could be consecutive to the Chester County sentence. A strictly penal sentence will not serve anyone he's seriously mentally ill, said his attorney. He needs to be in a place where he can get treatment so he doesn't get worse. Carmen said she was pleased with the sentence in particular because it prioritizes the need to protect the public and the community. I'm just saying, this is wild. She said both Chester County and federal authorities have been attempting to address Mr. Rich's mental health for over a decade. The sentence imposed by the court today ensures that the community will be protected while these efforts continue. So I just wanted to show you guys this because I think what his attorney here said is absolutely important. And the whole him posting stuff, we're going to go into this X page that I found. JLR has 1 million accounts allegedly, and he has a lot of accounts on social media. And I found one on X that has some posts that I'm just like, what the hell? Wait, did I save it? Why am I like not finding it right now? Let's move on. I'll find it in a second. I was pretty sure I saved it. Anyways, let's continue. We know he was obsessed with Adam Lanza and James. Sorry, guys, let me pull up this document. Adam Lanza and James James Holmes. Sorry, I spaced it. I was trying to find that page. If you don't know who James Holmes, he was the Aurora theater shooter. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, speaking of, we'll bring this up. I have so many documents to share with you guys. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Okay. Can you guys see that? Sorry if you can't, but I'll read it to you. So this is speaking of him being in custody, this is encounter date 3/10/2011. It's an inmate report from the prison. It says inmate was brought to the exam room restrained and sitting. He was offered oral nutrition and refused. Nares were inspected and no obstruction noted. The left nair was cannulated with the 16G NG tube with patient's cooperation, including sips of water, and advanced without complication to a pre-measured mark. So this is a report from when he was starving himself in prison. Then secured to his nose with tape. Air was injected by a tube without sound into lungs and sounds over stomach. 2 boxes of resource, each 237 ml, were then pushed with a 50 cc syringe over 10 to 15 minutes. After feeding the tube was removed, I think they meant, after feeding the tube was removed without evidence of trauma or bleeding, lungs were examined without any congestion noted. Vital signs remain sound. So it says hunger strike without a specific reason expressed except general displeasure with being held in the shoe, resistant to efforts to get him to take any nutrition voluntarily. So he was starving himself in prison because he was doing, I don't even know why he was starving himself, to be honest. I think he was trying to prove a point. And now linking a big time attorney is going to get him into big trouble. Hey, Shay, let me see what you guys are saying. He probably has one for every personality. Exactly. He's playing with fire. Don't forget Mark Kelly's wife is. Yes, Lori, right. He's out of touch with reality. I think he could have undiagnosed Sizer effect order. I don't know what that is. I think he hides it or tries to. I'll have to look that up. He even lost access to paper at one point. Yeah. So let's see. It says that borderline personality disorder. Status date August 12th, 2010. Anorexia nervosa. So he struggles with anorexia and borderline personality disorder. He was placed in isolation. It says patient education topics. March 10th, 2011, he has counseling appointment for treatment, verbalizes understanding, return to shoe cell with nursing, checks every 30 minutes for the next 90 minutes to maintain erect posture for 90 minutes. So the article was talking about, how he should be in a mental health facility. And I thought that this was just so wild, this report. I know. Bipolar personality disorder. It's not, it's something he has to deal with. Bye, Kim. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let's move on to the next page of that. It says, this was on 3/12/2011. It says, no significant finding, no apparent distress. Responding to SHU to report of inmate lying in cell. Upon arrival, found inmate lying on floor. Would not respond to verbal commands. Upon entering the cell with correctional staff assistant, inmate will awake to voice and slowly respond to verbal commands. Inmate reports that he is unsure how he got to the floor. Assisted inmate to chair and taken to treatment room for evaluation. Denies any acute injury except for pain to posterior head. No bruises, no bleeding or swelling on exam, non-tender with exam. Gross neuro intact. Denies LOC. Patient has been on reported hunger strike. Oh, that's what it was. It was a hunger strike for lengthy time and was recently forced with parental nutrition. Patient also reports dizziness and generalized weakness. Patient was given glucose gel this AM per medical staff. MDO notified, and a patient given IVF replacement of 1 LTD5 normal saline over 30 minutes. Patient tolerated infusion well and voided. So I have to sneeze. Excuse. Okay, sorry, I had to sneeze. Patient tolerated infusion and voided approximately 400 ml of dark yellow urine. Continued to educate patient about self-destructive behavior and potential for irreversible effects. Needs reinforcement. Patient not orthostatic and return to cell. Will continue to monitor daily. And it says disposition follow-up as sick call is needed. Counseling. So this is while he's in prison. Oh, LOC, loss of consciousness. Yeah, borderline personality disorder. So that's not, just made up or anything. It's actually, we've seen a lot of it in the documents and in the videos. JLR can't use a mental illness excuse to his crime. He's responsible for taking his psych meds. It worries me in the sense of, if it is borderline, it is not easily treated. It's more behavioral than chemical imbalance. Yeah, that's what I meant with it's a lot to deal with. The person needs to be willing to attend therapy and put into practice behavior modification. Hey, Chad. Exactly, Neat Noodle. That's my point, is like, it worries me, the obsession with serial killer mass shooters and the mental health problems and just all of it, it worries me. The next report is, I have two more. So this one is February 28th, 2011. Hey, ATS, thanks for coming in with the crew. Appreciate you. ATS covers JLR too, so definitely make sure you guys check her out. It says, hunger strike encounter performed at special housing unit. Diagnosis of anorexia nervosa, borderline personality disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. Oh. Patient on hunger strike and missed his 19th meal this evening after starting his hunger strike on February 22nd, 2011 in the evening. Discussed the observations of the SHU staff with 𝗠𝗲𝗹𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆, who stated that Mr. Riches is refusing to eat because he believes that he received an unfair and unusual restriction for a 300 level offense. He has lost his commissary for 1 year and his personal property for 90 days. So he was even having issues being in prison. The CO stated that Mr. Riches had almost accepted insure last night, but then refused at the last minute. Interviewed the patient through the cell door in special housing unit. Patient appeared in his unusual state, except that he had a t-shirt over the back of his hand. He stated that he had been hearing voices, but he did not tell me the content of what they were saying. He maintained his refusal to consider taking any psychiatric medications. He stated that he was feeling threatened by the administration, but he would not tell me how or why. He says that he is drinking some water, but that he had been dizzy upon standing quickly twice and fell twice yesterday. He denied any injury from that. He was asked to stroll back and forth in the cell and did so without difficulty. Mr. Riches stated that he wants to file a criminal complaint against the DHO because he believes that he was given an unusual and disproportionate restriction for his 300 level offense. He stated that if he died, that he wanted the blood to be on your hands. He denied feeling S-word, but followed up with a comment, quote unquote, I either want to be taken out of the cell or you will have to take me out in a body bag. Sorry, I'm like not trying to be in your face, but I can't see it and I can't make it bigger. People claim to hear voices when they want to get disability. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. He isn't a manipulator, says Indy. Borderline personality causes the perception of always being the victim. My favorite clips are, yeah, I do. HB clips. I never knew Heels in the Air, RIP, because I know she was sick. But she has really good content on JLR, and she knew JLR. So if you guys don't know who Heels in the Air, allegedly, from what I hear, is she was creating clips on JLR. She was staying, pressing on his neck with like all the bullshit he does. And she was ill, I believe. And as she was like passing, like dealing with all of it, JLR was harassing her. So he was harassing a woman who was dying. And that whenever I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's terrible. That's terrible to be sick and having to deal with JLR. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. RIP if that's what happened. That's what I think people who used to watch her. Okay, let's move on. I think that's it for the prison reports, incidents. Yes. Yes. On that one. Oh yeah, I've played a lot of her stuff here. A lot of her clips here recently. So let's go back to I wanted to show you guys those prison documents, but now I want to go back to the article, a letter. Oh, here we go. I found the page. Oh yes, I found it. Remember I was telling you guys that there was an X page that was kind of creepy. One of JLR's X pages. So this page right here, oh, sorry, my screen changed. I don't like it like that. I don't know how I came upon this. I don't know if I have even showed this before here, but what's going on? Here we go. This page is by Jonathan, and it says, I love Jesus Christ. God bless America. And it's Johnny Tsunami. He calls himself Johnny Tsunami, like Sue, S-U-E, Nami, because he sues everybody. And then like a tsunami, you know what I mean? Stress makes you hella sick. Yes, it does. RIP. Exactly. Yeah, it is, Shay. It's so nice to see that some YouTubers respect each other. Yes. You won't find anything other. Yeah, no. Don't get me started. Okay, he says on December 11, 2016, show me the pic, please. He's reposting, everyone posting about him with the Lanza thing. Like he reposted this. Jonathan Lee Rich has identified himself to media as Lanza's uncle. He also made YouTube videos about the New World Order. And then he reposted, Jonathan Lee Rich's most suing man in history, punks the American Republic. Someone says, wrong, what's your source? Lanza's imposter uncle, the convicted felon, Jonathan Lee Rich's. And then he said, someone else said, Jonathan Rich is a fraud who 9 News reported on posing as Adam Lanza's uncle. And then he reposted, I figured out how to stop Westboro Baptist Church, permanently called Jonathan Lee Rich's. FWBC, you are welcome. And then he posts on this Twitter. It says, Jonathan Lee Rich has punked Sandy Hook as Jonathan Lanza. Then he says, James Holmes is innocent. And then he posted James Holmes calling the White House to ask Barack Obama for pardon when he made that video. Let me see. I was going to try to play that, but maybe not. For, purposes of getting in trouble with JLR. Another one he says, I sued the Reverend Jim Jones in the People Temples of Guyana. James Holmes is innocent, by the way. Has anyone noticed that the Clackamas Town Center Mall is located next to the Century 16 Theater? And then he says, which means I can entertain myself by filing a lawsuit against the mall. So he's responding to someone. He says, remember the Omaha Westwoods mall shooting? I sued the mall. And then he says, when James Holmes writes me, I'm going to frame it. James got framed like Roger Rabbit. His obsession with James is sick, you guys. This is sick. James Holmes is innocent. He killed 12 people at a Century 16 movie theater on July 20th, 2012. He's an American convicted mass murderer, James Holmes. Like, it's known as a Colorado shooting. Hey, badass. Good to see you, friend. Like, am I being dramatic or that trips me out? What the hell? He says, we're all on trial daily with ourselves. Okay, this one I wanted to show you guys. Duck, duck, goose with my lawsuits, because I've been reading them and we're going to finish the book tomorrow, by the way. So please make sure you're subscribed, like, and your notifications are on. Yeah, the Batman movie. He can't sue anyone now with approval of the courts. Apparently, he can get all the ROs he wants, which I think is crazy. He says, is Angela Dozier our new Jonathan Lee Rich? He reposted this. Jonathan Lee Rich's just a few thousand more lawsuits to go. This is a post that I wanted you guys to see because it's going to go into our next clip. He says, I'm Mike, the situation of litigation. He posted this on his like alt account. Well, it's not even alt because it says it's him. What the? He's talking about Brad Pitt being sued by James Holmes, which was him. New, never before seen Hurricane Sandy pics, Jonathan Lee Rich's. This is when he was sued Hurricane Sandy. I'm going to sue Hurricane Sandy, aka Frankenstorm. And then he says, Jonathan Lee Rich's files fake lawsuit as 22-year-old against Jerry Sadensky in federal court. He's posting this on his own page. Okay. This post he did right here is going to bring us into our next clip. He was married or is married, allegedly, to some people. I mean, allegedly, some people say that he's still legally married to Naomi. And I don't know her. I haven't talked to her, but apparently I've done some digging. Apparently, Naomi was also very unmentally well. We've covered some of her clips before, but she was unmentally well and she disappeared for a while. And she sued people just like JLR, like erroneous lawsuits. And I don't even know if it was really her or it was like JLR pressing her. You know what I mean? Because he's the one who's known as a serial, erroneous filer. And she sued, I think, like Beyonce and a movie theater. We'll have to go through those maybe tomorrow. I have them all. But he says right here, he says, Naomi Rich's is a psycho. And he posted like a blog about her, but it was taken down. So I know, sadly, I wanted to read it. I did. I was hoping when I clicked the link, it was said it was been removed by the website. Of course. Okay, but here she says his wife is a psycho. But then down here, this is on December 10th, 2012. Hey, excited. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good weekend. I know you're in the future. But let's see. Then down here, he says, Naomi is my wife, and I'm proud she sued Casey Anthony. And then here he says, selling James Holmes Halloween masks on Craigslist. Ooh, we should talk about that, Hella, because I have to. I just don't want to show some of it. But yeah, we should. He's selling James Holmes mask on Craigslist. He says, I'm Teflon John, Billy Ocean of court motions. This is like proof that he's always been, you know. He says, James Holmes wrote me and told me they're going to kill his uncle, James Dexter. He reposted this. Jonathan Lee Riches has filed over 2,600 lawsuits. And then here, you know that creepy video of the James, how he was pretending to be James Holmes and to get his mail, which is like a federal crime. And he says here, who forwarded James Holmes' mail to Jonathan Lee Riches? We've seen that clip before, but like this is stuff he's posting on this first initial X page that he had back when it was Twitter, or I don't know when it changed, whatever. I'm kind of new to it. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys like unhinged completely. He says James Holmes and Pope Benedict sex tape. Like, and then he says James Holmes, Colorado shooter, guilty or not, come share your thoughts. He says my lawsuit's all exclusive, not a nuisance. He says an earthquake today in Los Angeles just shook me while I was typing a lawsuit against James Holmes. He says, sue the movies for not having bulletproof screens. What? They are his disability lawyers. He seems so normal. You guys, is this someone who should really be talking about true crime and taking people's money? No, not in my opinion. But he says, at night, I can't tweet. I toss and turn, took Sudafed, so I don't rise up to sue the feds. He says, Peggy Sue got married, sued her to, no joke, Drew Carey. The mother goose of lawsuits, stork of the courts, drop in, I'm not kidding. He says, call me MC contempt me on the mic, got civil rights, they don't know Jack, Dempsey / my glass half empty with Jack D from Tennessee. He says, I'm a courthouse danger mouse. What's all the anger about? I'm the judicial Billy Crystal. He says, firework residue equals sue. I do the do when I sue. No mountain high enough. K2. Slip and fall. Litigate shawl. Anyways, I'll link stuff below if you guys are interested. But anyways, I wanted you guys to take note of the post he did on Naomi, because now I'm going to show you guys this clip. So I found this clip of this lady who knew Naomi, and she has a message for JLR. And so that's who she's talking to in this clip. So don't be confused. This is not Naomi. This is someone who just knew Naomi. And then I want to get into, after that, we'll get back to, I want to read a letter he wrote regarding the James stuff. So let me play this clip. It's titled, Hear My Words, Jonathan Lee Riches. And I don't know who this lady is, but she's in a lot of videos talking about Naomi.
Yeah, so last night, I was really lonely for you, and I thought, why, what's going on here? Why am I so lonely for Naomi? It was like the emptiest feeling in the world. So I went on to Facebook, and I put up a song, and underneath the song I put, why am I so lonely for you? And then I went to notifications, and I found out that, what Ashley has posted, I found out what happened. And I got really pissed. I'm sorry you had to go through that. To me, it's completely ridiculous. And I guess what I want to say is that you know, that guy needs to be stopped. I mean, it would be nice for you to file harassment charges against him and get a restraining order against him. But it depends on how much of a maniac he is, because
She's talking about a restraining order on JLR and how much of a maniac he is.
sometimes if you do all that, then, you know, it makes the maniac worse. So, you know, definitely don't need that. I also wanted to mention to you that if you come here, you will be surrounded by dozens of security cameras all the time, 24-hour surveillance. And that does make me feel more secure myself. You know, I like being in that aspect of being in this environment. So that's something that you might want to consider. If the maniac does show up in a situation like that, you know, he's going to be filmed all over the place, and whatever he does, he's not going to be able to deny doing it. And unless he wants to spend a lot of time in the pokey, I would suggest that he think about it first, as far as justifiable homicide goes. So that's just ridiculous too. He's barking up the wrong tree. You know, you don't get married to somebody, start abusing him immediately, and then
you don't get married to Naomi and start abusing her immediately, she says. And again, this message is directed towards JLR.
Walk out of their life and then turn around and say that you committed an act that was justifiable homicide. Crazy. So it wouldn't fly for a second. So unless he's working for them, you know, if he's working for them, that's a whole other story. God knows what. But like I said, if he does anything in front of all these cameras, well, you know, he would have to pay the price for Lady Justice, that's for sure. There's some things that can't be denied. But I guess that's all I want to say. I would like for you to give me a call so that if you're still interested in coming down, that we would be able to start making plans, because we really do have to plan it a little bit in advance. These impulse things are hard to come by at a time like this.
From what I researched or found, she's really close to Naomi, really close.
Not in a position to do impulse things, so I do need to plan it. And I would like for you to call me, you know, and put yourself in a situation where you're not subjected to that kind of thing anymore. You know, it's just unnecessary. You need to get away from him and not allow him to be to have that kind of easy access to you. You know, make it a little bit more difficult for him. You're here hopping around from hotel to hotel under somebody else's name, whom he doesn't even know their name. It's going to be a little bit harder for him, a whole lot harder for him to access you. So, you know, these are things for you to consider. And want to let you know that I miss you. I can't wait for you to get back. And sorry that you had to go through such a ridiculous thing as that. And I'll talk to you later.
So I just, with the Magnolia thing, you know, again, none of these things that he's doing, filing ROs, erroneous lawsuits, beating on women, this has been a thing that's been going on. And some of us are just finding out. Some people knew and claimed, you know, have a history with him. Yes, you're right, Hella. Yes. This, there's some videos that are just very concerning out there. But that's what I wanted to show you guys regarding Naomi. From what I've researched, allegedly, she's still not mentally well. And I just really feel like JLR had a lot to do with that, and that's just my opinion only. We don't have any proof of that. It's just my opinion. With that being said, let's move on to the next doc. This is a letter that JLR wrote. Let me see. Let me touch base with you guys. Okay, Hella, I'll hit you up if I know something. Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please, please, please. I hope to God the feds are watching his every move. So he says, this is crazy. This is when he was, I believe he was incarcerated at this time. Not sure. Maybe not. No, he wasn't. Maybe. I have to look that address. It says, Dear Holmes, Jonathan Lee Rich is here. Currently held illegally. Oh yeah, he is. Currently held illegally in a maximum security state prison in Pennsylvania. I am a victim of the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 mind control. I was programmed to file motions in the James Holmes case as victims. I am also Allison Ernest. I was programmed to go to Sandy Hook, Connecticut, and pretend I was Adam Lanza's uncle, Jonathan Lanza. I and Robert Holmes was to testify. In the, I can't read. Oh, in the liber. Sorry, I can't. Oh, in the, I don't know what that says. Scandal to the Senate Banking Committee. I am now being discredited and subjected to hours of interrogation tactics like waterboarding to extract information from me related to the James Holmes case. And soon I will be sent to Cuba and labeled an enemy combat. I can't read it. James Holmes is innocent. Jonathan Lee Riches. Like, yeah. Did not hit her. Did not hit who? God will have his wrath on JLR. Yeah. Like, his obsession with James Holmes. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but like, oh, thank you. Thank you, badass. Your eyes are better than me. But clearly. Yeah, you know, it's just very uncomfortable for me that he's out there at Nancy Guthrie's house and everything he's done in all the other cases, Gabby Petito, Sandra visiting the grave sites. Like, there's just, when will it stop? When will he be stopped? Now he's getting people deleted off of YouTube, and now he's going for White Boy, which we covered at the very beginning. It's just like, let me pull up the next document I have for you guys. We're going to go back to, sorry that we're kind of just jumping back and forth. I want to go back to reading this article. February 8th, 2013. He was Karen Reed's walk-in. Really? So this article's titled Chester County Man returned to prison for trip to Connecticut after shooting. Jonathan Lee Riches violated his, did we read this one? Did we just read this one? No, we didn't. Who violated his probation during a December trip to Newton, Connecticut, went back to state prison. Riches appeared. Why does it look like the same one we just read? In the video, he appeared in West Goshen, Chester County Common Pleas Judge Jacqueline C. probation violation following trip to Newton just days after the horrific shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. Detectives from the West Goshen Police Department notified Rich's probation of the violation after Rich has posted a video of his trip on YouTube. In the video, which was partially shown in court on Thursday, Rich is seen attempting to reach the home of Sandy Hook gunman Adam Lanza, but is prevented by a police blockade. The video also shows Rich is speaking to dolls with the faces of Adam Lanza and his brother Ryan attached. Early in the video, Richards refers to the dolls as his friends, Ryan and Adam Lanza. "Quote unquote, we are truth seekers and we're going to find out why Adam was mind controlled and manipulated to go in and allegedly shoot little kids in Sandy Hook Elementary School and why this happened," said JLR. At the point in the video, Cody ordered a halt to the display, visibly disturbed by its content. "We don't need to watch what he created," Cody said. "I don't need to see anymore." That's what the judge said. During his trip, Richards also showed up to Newton Memorial claiming to be Jonathan Lanza, an uncle of gunman Adam Lanza. Several media outlets, including the New York Daily News, published Richards' claim that Lanza was taking an antipsychotic drug prescribed to treat schizophrenia. Several photographs showing Richards knelt in prayer in front of the memorial were also published by various media outlets. Richards has also published videos of himself attempting to make calls to Adam Lanza's brother Ryan, which District Attorney Andrea Cardamone argued was another violation of his probation for disseminating personal information on the internet. Multiple officials familiar with Richards have said his erratic online behavior appeared to focus around the movie theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado on July 20th. That shooting left 12 people dead and 58 injured when a gunman attacked a theater during the premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. JLR's YouTube channel features many videos discussing the shooting and proclaiming the innocence of alleged shooter James Holmes. His videos frequently show him speaking to photographs of Holmes, who he refers to as his friend. Cardamone said Thursday that both the West Scotian Police Department and Chester County Detective have received multiple calls and complaints in recent months reporting bizarre and alarming behavior from Richards. What is alarming to the community is a lot of these postings on YouTube seem to celebrate or express an opinion for kinship with some of the recent mass murderers in our country. More recently, the violations that we are dealing with here involve a clear obsession and fascination with Adam Lanza and the mass murder that occurred in Sandy Hook. Remember at the beginning of the live when I said he's obsessed with the Nancy Guthrie case. He did it with the 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗽. He did it with Summer Wells. Who else? I'm spacing. There's more. Rich's attorney, Robert J. Donati, argued that Rich's videos were a product of untreated mental illness and asked Judge Cody to consider a sentence that would allow him to return to a federal facility where he would receive treatment. And my question to you guys is, do you think maybe he should be receiving treatment now? And I mean that with all due respect. You guys know I'm an advocate for mental health. But it worries me with everything going on. He's mentally ill. I don't say that as an excuse. I say that as a matter of fact. There is very little that can be done on a county level. Richards addressed the court, and that's what his defense attorney said. Richards addresses the court and acknowledged his illness, explaining that he has prescribed several medications and that he was not taking them during his trip to Connecticut. "I have been diagnosed with mental illness for many years. It's something I struggle with and that I'm working on," said JLR. "I need treatment. I have mental issues. I need help." Judge Cody listened to Rich's explanation, but in the end was not convinced that his illness was reason enough to excuse his actions. "You seem like a nice person, but you've done a terrible thing that has affected a lot of people," Cody said before revoking Rich's probation and sentencing him to 2.5 to 5 years in state prison. Afterward, his defense lawyer explained that he was disappointed in the decision and felt that he would be better in a mental health facility. "It is not what I was hoping for," arguing it was obviously significantly more than what the Commonwealth asked for. "Hopefully, there will be some mechanism in the state system that treats the mental illness because at some point in time, he's going to get out again." Did any mental health practitioner, is he being treated? Because I'm concerned. "I believe he would be better served in a prison setting that has psychological and psychiatric treatment and abilities that are much better in the federal system." Riches was on probation for a 1997 conviction of wire fraud and identity theft. He violated his probation at least 4 times since according to the court testimony. Rich's trip also violated his supervised release that followed a 10-year stretch in federal prison for credit card fraud in a separate case. Officials said the government has been waiting to see the outcome of local hearing to address the violation of his supervised release, and a federal hearing is now pending. Riches has obviously gained notoriety for his reputation as a federal prison system most litigious inmate. He has filed thousands of phony lawsuits that often named celebrities and other public figures as defendants. I know. I've heard some of this stuff before, but it's just absolutely wild. And some of y'all kept missing, allegedly the disability thing and all of that. And I have this document. Request for modifying the conditions or term of supervision. Jonathan Lee Riches, date of original sentence, December 9, 2011. Date of sentence, June 10th, 2004. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud and wire fraud aiding and abetting. The defendant was sentenced to the original sentence. The defendant was sentenced to the custody of the United States Bureau of Prison for a term of 125 months, consisting of 60 months on count 1 and 125 months on counts 3, and to be served concurrently for a total term of 125 months imprisonment. Upon release from custody, the defendant shall be on supervised release for a term of 5 years. This term consists of 3 years as count 1 and 5 years as to counts 3's, both terms to run concurrently for a total term of 5 years. Special conditions. The defendant shall participate in a program, inpatient or outpatient, for the treatment of drug and alcohol addiction, dependency, or abuse, which may include but not limited to urine, breath, saliva, and skin testing to determine whether the defendant has reverted to the use of drugs or alcohol. JLR was on rugs. Which ones? Am I reading that right or no? Yeah. What was the addiction? The treatment of drug or alcohol. Reverted means going back to, so I thought that was interesting. Further, the defendant shall participate as instructed and as deemed necessary by probation officer and shall comply with all rules and regulations of the treatment agency until discharged by a program director with the approval of the probation officer. The defendant shall further submit to drug detection techniques in addition to those performed by the treatment agency as directed by the probation officer. The defendant will incur the cost associated with such drug and alcohol detections and treatment based on ability to pay as determined by the probation officer. The defendant is required to participate in a mental health program as deemed necessary and approved by the probation officer. The defendant will incur the costs associated with such program based on the ability to pay. The defendant shall pay restitution in the amount of $92,000 at a rate of $200 per month to commence 60 days after release from imprisonment. The defendant shall pay a special assessment of $200 due immediately. Yes. Oh my God, the restitution amount. I'm stuck on the rug charges. I hadn't heard that before. I heard of many other things, and we've covered many other things with him, but that was kind of new to me. And again, these are court documents. On September 25th, 2012, okay, Pennsylvania, et cetera, violation hearing. On July 1st, 2015, the defendant was found in violation of his supervised release. The defendant was sentenced to serve 1 year and 1 day custody in the U.S. Bureau of Prisons. This sentence to run consecutive with the sentence imposed by the Court of Common Pleas in Chester County on February 7th, 2013. Upon release of custody, the defendant shall be placed on supervised release for a period of 24 months. Listen, I think it's complete bull. If he's making all this money on YouTube, this wasn't paid and he got out of it with disability or his mental health issues, and now he's making all that money. No, they should make him pay. He should be responsible. F that. He's making bank. He made bank off Nancy Guthrie. facts all across, hard stop. If he didn't, I don't know now that. Oh yeah, badass says restitution never paid. There's a judgment for him on it. What's going, like, the judge should garnish his wages then. Yo, he's making like hundreds. I thought he made, didn't somebody say he made like $500,000 on Nancy Guthrie? And some people would say and assume and know and think that he's been scamming that disability system as well. Now, I can't verify that yet, but allegedly, word on the streets is that. Hey, friendly advice. I think he's trying to get my channel down because when I found out about him, I was in rage and went to his live and told him to go away and gave the middle finger emoji. Then I found mailing was slow with the documents. It got even darker. He scares me. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, badass says he made what? No way. He made that much off Nancy Guthrie. What? I'm pissed. We are outraged. Outraged. No way. I'm disgusted. And no, I'm not jealous. Like, not that anybody said that, but I'm just saying for the trolls. I'd rather be myself and not be obsessed with mass shooters and beating on women. Like, during the period of incarceration, it is strongly recommended to the BOP that the defendant be designated to federal medical center. The fact that the court in the prison system believes he's better off in a federal medical center makes me wonder if he's better off in a medical center now and just no one is aware of it, or you know what I mean? I've been there before, so I can speak on that, and I've spoken about this openly on my channel. I'm an open book, and mental health issues are really hard to deal with if you don't take care of yourself and have the resources you need. You know what I mean? It says, be designated so that he can undergo psychiatric and psychological evaluations to determine his mental health status and treatment upon his release from custody. All previously imposed conditions of supervised release shall remain in effect. The violation was due to the fact that the defendant left the judicial district without permission. Okay. Now this says petitioning the court. Now he's saying he should crowdfund and buy the house that's for sale on Nancy Street. What? No. I'm telling you guys, the obsession with mass shooters and Nancy Guthrie, that's a thing. Sometimes people with these disorders fixate on something, and oh gosh, we have a troll. Sounds like you are jealous. Go back to JLR. Really? We don't want you here. I made $30,000 a week sitting in front of Nancy's house. That's YouTube donations, merch, etc. I know. It's complete shit. Thank you, friendly advice. Not your fault. I'm glad I found you. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. It's called capitalism, says Fin-Fan. Fin-Fan. Fin-Fan, are you JLR? Because that's something he would say. Fin-Fan. Petitioning the court. Reference is made to report an offender submitted to the court on October 28th, 2016. Our office notified the court that the defendant was released from custody on May 10th, 2016, and failed to make monthly payments since his release from custody. The court approved the recommendation to hold the defendant's payment schedule until he begins receiving Social Security disability income. There it is, you guys. There it is. We've assumed, we've thought. It's proof right here that he was on Social Security. So if he still is, this is why I wanted to show you guys. If he still is, you know, he's probably already being investigated. Yeah, the RIS don't play, man. That's one person one person, one entity you do not want on your ass. So here it says begins receiving Social Security disability income, and that was in 2016. Mr. Riches was approved for Social Security disability income in November of 2016 and has failed to make monthly payments of $200 in November, December 2016, and January 2017. Please be advised that the defendant was approved for social disability due to his ongoing mental health issues. Full stop. If he's getting benefits, that's illegal. 2, if he had mental health issues that qualify for disability, then how are you dealing with those now? That could be a danger to society. The defendant is receiving a monthly income of $733. Mr. Riches is currently residing with his parents and was required to sign a rental agreement. The defendant is paying rent in the amount of $650 a month. After reviewing Mr. Riches' financial status, our office is recommending that the payment scheduled to be set at $35 a month. Mr. Riches is in agreement with this modification and successfully submitted that payment in January 2017. To modify the conditions of supervision as follows, the defendant pay restitution and monthly payments. Signed February 10th, 2017. Yo. Hey, Kelly. Good to see you. And hey, Crimes. Doing business as? Really? I can't believe he's living with his parents and that he also sued. That's crazy. Listen, I'm just saying his parents, and I don't blame them, probably want nothing to do with him. We have 2 really good long documents to read. I'm going to save those for tomorrow. Let's get into one of the prison letters. And these are just like, I haven't even read over these. But I'll read the 2 articles, which are really good. So definitely make sure you guys are subscribed and tune in for tomorrow. A document on a case that he worked on. And then I have some other documents that I want to read. So let me just read a couple of the letters. And then I have some interviews too that I want to cover. So we'll definitely be getting that done. Okay. So Mr. Breivik. Let me just touch in with you guys. Yes, red flag. We probably shouldn't be shocked with JLR at this point with anything. I know. He's got a lot to pay back then. Listen. Not that he would listen to me, but cut the shit out, JLR, and start fixing things because you're going to end up back in prison. And maybe that's where you deserve to be. But like, if you didn't enjoy it, then why are you trying to go back? I bet he is off disability now. You have to file a form annually clearing income. If he filed, he would be removed by now. Remember, he's a fraud, so he probably knows how to get around that. And exactly, he could be using people or other names as well. So this one says Mr. Breivik. I don't know who that is. My name is Jonathan Lee Riches. Oh, okay. November. I was looking for the date. November 7th, 2013. My name is Jonathan Lee Riches. I am the world's most litigious man, having filing over 5,000. I'm going to make it bigger. So sorry if I hurt your eyeballs. Filing over 5,000 federal lawsuits in the United States courts against government officials, politicians, celebrities, etc. If you or associate has access to the internet, feel free to Google me or read about me online. Numerous lawsuits I filed in the past against Barack Obama and others were akin to the same views you have regarding Islamic colonization in America. Same views you have. I've read reports that you were inspired by Ted Kaczynski. Like, dude, what's the thing? Okay, Adam Lanza, James Holmes, and he's obsessed with the bomber too. The Unabomber. Okay, it says, I've read reports that you were inspired by Ted Kaczynski and used written text from his manifesto into your own. I am proud to tell you this, as I know Kaczynski personally. I was previously incarcerated with him around 2007 at the Supermax ADX federal prison in Florence, Colorado. The prison conditions were similar to the conditions where I read you are at. We were locked in our cells 23 hours a day and only allowed out 1 hour of recreation 5 days a week. No human contact with other inmates, but I exchanged notes with Ted through the person law library about legal issues. Federal prison has taken a toll on him and me. Now, you guys, I don't know if this is true. He was never there. Okay, yeah, I'm like, this doesn't sound like it's true. He was not incarcerated with Ted. That's so wild. It says has taken a toll on him and me. I spent over 10 years in prison before I was released last year. Your first name is interesting in that a very common US Supreme Court. Anders versus California is commonly used by defense attorneys after a defendant is found guilty. The lawyers use Anders versus California to petition the courts to withdraw from a convicted defendant's case, which leaves the defendant defenseless in the appeals process. I'm interested in knowing how the law works in our country. A dear friend of mine, Kimmy, has sent this to you from New Jersey. Hopefully this reaches you in good health. I was once in your shoes in regards to 24-hour incarceration, so my heart feels for you. It would mean the world if you could kindly write back. I look forward to hearing from you, my friend. Respectfully, JLR. Most of the 10 years JLR did was club fed, FMC. That is a psych ward. Okay, thank you, badass. He just opened an LLC when he got back to Arizona. No way. What? Hey, Q, good to see you. Yeah, we just read the letter. He sued inmate objects. Yes, we've been reading them. We've been reading them here. So we're going to finish the book probably tomorrow, hopefully. Yes, we covered the white boy at the beginning. So definitely if you're coming in late, thank you for being here. But definitely go back to it. Okay, so this next letter, I can't even read it, you guys. I'll try to like go, you know what? Maybe I'll skip that one. He wrote like on the whole page and there's like words everywhere. So I'm gonna have to try to decipher that maybe. Let's move on to this letter. So let me make note of which ones I'm reading. Sorry. This one is from, what's the date on this? This one doesn't have a date. Hold please, let me make sure. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read this one. You guys are good. These are all written, so I'm like, I'm doing my best, guys, to read them. This next one, like trying to read this writing is hard. It's all in my opinion as to someone he can't to cover this rear from in. Yeah, I agree. So this one says, let me zoom in. Oh my gosh, this writing. I've been thumbing through some new materials. Says the new WO Illuminati have structured society to put symbolic guards at the entrance of the left brain called mainstream education, academia, science, and media to stop our right brain impacting our own sense of reality. They are creating us into left brain prisoners. Maybe Jimmy was onto something. studying neuroscience. If you let programmed perceptions and norms dictate what you say and do to avoid ridicule or condemnation, how is anything ever going to change or move on? I've already began to see in the law library computer case law where the lawsuit the government filed against me for injunction is now being used in other people's civil lawsuits, preventing them from filing additional motions in their own cases. James Holmes' case will be a blueprint on how future prosecutors try other mass shooting cases. My goal is to act with, I can't read that, the blueprint. How many true Holmes are out there? What's your estimate? Have you seen men online on Tumblr, Facebook, or forums that love Jimmy? I got a video on Facebook I made driving Superstorm Sandy, where I went to an overflowing creek and I had a can't read that. And I taped Jimmy's face on it. And I placed it in the creek and watched Jimmy float away. Hope Jimmy is aware not to accept a vaccine or a flu shot. He draws a picture. Me, Jimmy, Kimmy. Precious. Hiding out at a faraway land so no one can find us. Everyone wants to know where Lil Madeline McCann is. I believe I solved the mystery. Go to lawsuit, JLR versus Brad Pitt, and read. Previously, I mentioned in the letter Michael Douglas. Now I just seen, and it ends there. Let me see. Was Madeline McCann one of the ones he was obsessed to? Let's move on to the sorry, I'm trying to pull up the next one. That is disgusting, right? Oh, wait. Huh. Is it true he sent his butt hair to a pen pal while locked up? Oh my God. Yeah, I think it is true. Hey, Lintonero, good to see you. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm trying to think if I want to read these straight off of like, yeah, let's read the next one. Okay, so I'm gonna read this one. I don't know if they're supposed to be in some specific order, but I have them in different. Hi, Lintonero, you missed me already? Wow. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read this. When I was alone, I would always have to meet girls originally when I have a friend with me. Being with a friend opened my personality. Even when I was alone and a girl strikes a conversation with me, I get nervous and push them away. When I put on the telephone and computer chats, I was a totally different person. I always wanted to be the center of attention and try to do the most outrageous and shocking things. But in reality, I keep to myself. Oh, there's like a crease. I met Ellie before Naomi. Is this a new character? Elle? I met Elle before Naomi and she lived 2 minutes away from me. I met Ellie in the James Holmes Innocence group. I never met Ellie in person or talk flirty with her. So you could say, I'm really shy in front of people. And if I met a person online or on the phone and meet them, I'm goofy and crazy behind closed doors. But like I told you, 3 of my previous girlfriends, girlfriends? Why is this guy getting why is this guy who told you not to? How is this guy meeting girls and getting girlfriends? What? You could say I'm shy. You could say I'm shy in front of people. And if I met a person online or on the phone and meet them, I'm goofy and crazy behind doors. But like I told you, 3 of my previous girlfriends I met online. Phone, Naomi, Stephanie, and Michelle. I didn't know. So there's L. Well, he liked L. Naomi, Stephanie, Michelle, and all of them came to my house. I never met a female party liner offline except once. That midget I told you about. LOL. Wait, JLR met with a midget from the party line. I hadn't read this. Probably making it up. I don't know. He's so scary. Wow. Way to be your own person. Okay, it says Kimmy from 16 to 19 years old. Oh, midget I told you about, LOL. Kimmy from 16 to 19 years old with my friends and me having a car. I hooked up with a lot of girls. What? From 16 to 19 years old with my friends and me having a car, I hooked up with a lot of girls. I told my celly in the 90s was a car cruising strip. Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Okay, I can't read that sentence because of the crease. Friends used to go up there with me and meet people. I was a pretty boy with hair. LOL. Wait. JLR is calling himself a pretty boy? Kimmy, no joke. I once had 5 different girls in one night give me head in my car. He wrote this, so it could be a total lie, but some of it could be true. What the heck? I once had 5 different girls one night give me head in my car, like meet one and sweet talk, and then when 30 minutes, they would give me head and get their number and go do it again. Pottstown used to give tickets for $500 for having your car radio. I got attention by putting a mannequin in my front seat with sunglasses and neon lights under my car. Did you hang out or go to places as a teenager? So your friend moved to Washington, got married, and had a baby, and then I can't read the rest. Embarrassing thinking her life is better than yours. How do you know she wouldn't think she is in your shoes? Smart, single, drama-free. Her wishing secretly she married a creep and he had a child, a burden, and she's stuck in the middle, in the slave middle class. Do you look up other friends you had and use their Facebook to see how their lives are? Okay, this is creepy. Last year I went to Facebook to look up old friends from my teenage years, but I didn't talk to any except one friend I told you about in another recent letter, finding out he was in a motorcycle accident. That is insane. I don't know how much of this is true. Again, you guys, he was writing these, but these are written by him. LMA. He was full of shit. I definitely think he's on the lowdown. Makes me wanna gag. What did he say, Lintonero? Who's he writing to in all these letters? I have no idea. He's in the closet. What? He did that with James Holmes as a mannequin. Yes, this is why I'm telling you. It's a friend in it doesn't say, unfortunately. Yeah, it doesn't say who it is. Let me look at the other ones. There's more I need to decipher. I need to go through because, like, look at this one. I want to go through this with you guys tomorrow, but let me like type it up. That might be, what's best for us here. Look at this. Look at this craziness. Yeah, I'm going to spend all night tonight having to decipher that, but I will. Most absolutely. You know that. That's crazy, right? I guess we could just kind of go through it now. Because I can't read a lot of it anyways. I'm like, because it starts up here. It looks like he was writing inmate's request to staff member. Kicking, observing water in your body, talking of shitting. I used to go 5 to 6 times a day. If I went less, there would be panic or feel like I'm gaining weight. Oh, he's talking about his health issues. Like Kenyan runners run in the 130-pound range. I try my best, but I looked super thin. You got to understand the psychological something on inmates. Those skinny inmates see me every day running around like something boxing in the card room, running steps. I'm like a ticking time bomb. And no one dare test me. Ooh. Every compound I was in that place bets on anyone challenged me in a run. The suckers that would always get duped would be regular runners at prison who think they are, does that say hot? Who think they are something. And I just arrived to prison and they are something, and others know who I am from previous prisons. So they are, so they make bets with the number one who looks at me and assumes I can't run, etc. I murder them on their own track, and now they are number 2. At prison, everyone is good at something: basketball, spades, hobby, instruments. No one in the something from 2005 to 2006 until 2012 could match me with cardio. Oh, so yeah, I do remember his ex saying that he was a runner and he had stinky feet. Remember? Allegedly. I worked really hard to get there and was disciplined to maintain. What else you gonna do in prison? Here in the state, total opposite. I see some guys in okay shape, might be because they are young in genetics, but the guys I notice here been 10 plus years are not in good shape. We are locked in too much in the system. My health is a race against time. I kind of get more frustrated that I can't work out like I am used to than my freedom. Now I'm at a disadvantage and people my age are working out and I'm not. I checked out profiles of people, men my age, and 80 to 85 years were in bad shape for mid-30s. Charlie, the puppy, LOL. Who doesn't want Theo? The identity I stole of a real person. His name was Robert Charles Kerms. So I was Charlie for a while. JLR equals Jonathan Lanza relative. So JLR doesn't stand for Jonathan Lee Riches. It stands for Jonathan Lanza relative. Did you guys know that? What the hell? I'm tripping. JLR equals Jonathan Lanza relative, not Jonathan Lee Riches. He wanted to be Joanna Leigh Riches at one time. You guys, this is scary. This is wild. It says commercial now selling bullseye pee pads for dogs, 30 pounds, $12.99. And then he's like jumping. It says right here, my ass hair X on Manson's head. Will you give me a piece of precious fur? What? My ass hair X on Manson's head. Will you give me a piece of precious fur? This is what's interesting because he brings up Naomi right here. When I met Naomi, her Facebook profile was a pic of Hitler blowing his brains out with a you know what. This I believe. This is wild. But this Naomi thing is, I believe it. I believe it. But I didn't know she had a picture of Hitler. She's roaming around the earth now. She will be on the news in the future for an act she commits. I'm watching a movie, The Girl He Met Online. Totally reminds me of Psycho Naomi. Lifetime plays a lot of cool movies you have to watch. And then it says at the bottom, Amanda Knox story. Hayden Panettiere plays Knox. She's a good actress. Something caught in commercials and engaged to the Russian boxer. Something kitsched. He loved playing. I can't read that. Sorry, guys. Loved playing something Punch Out on Nintendo. And me, sucky fudge pack. I'm riding Michael's motorcycle and is from Michigan. Sucky fudge pack. Michigan, and something is from Michigan and Michigan Muchie and me in the hot tub. He's my rubber ducky. Excuse me? And me, sucky fudge pack. I'm riding Michael's motorcycle. Something is from Michigan Muchie and me in the hot tub. He's my rubber ducky. Dude. I'm sorry. Sorry, that was too hard to read, but that was actually very concerning. And you guys, the JLR Jonathan Lanza relative. Imagine, you guys, do you realize, like, if that is true, if that's what it stands for, he has been living with this name and calls himself that. I wonder if this has to do something with the disorders that he has, or if he's just, as we all know, something else. I'm dead, dude. Okay. That's a lot. Yeah, I know. You're like, great. Don't send me your bill for your melatonin you're gonna have to take tonight, okay? Because yeah, I know. He preyed on her from, I'm laughing so hard. Good, Kelly. Real Julie B said too. He sought her after from a video of her he's seen. He was JLR Investigates, now Jonathan Lee Riches, so it's probably true. You guys. Whoa. Sucky, what was it? Sucky fudge pack. I'm riding Michael's motorcycle from Michigan Muchie, and me in the tub, he's my rubber ducky. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. You guys, it's been a lot this life. Not joking, he really wanted to be a woman and changed his name to Joanna. And my concern is, will he turn into one of these other personalities one day and do something similar to his idols? Anyways, these are all my opinions. The court documents are real. The letters are real from the source that I got them from. And everything else, the articles you can find online. What else did I play? White Boy, you guys can go watch his live, the full thing. On some of his court doc, he has a bunch of aliases. Yeah, I've seen that. I can't hear it and not laugh. Dude, sucky. He's my rubber ducky. His parents' last name is Riches. What I'm saying is it could be his name, but like the fact that he even makes this connection is sick. It's sick. Look how far he took that situation with James Holmes. That was crazy. He's obsessed with James Holmes. My husband would say, "What are you watching?" Yeah, don't get in trouble, crimes. I'm such a child. No, I hadn't read it before. I should have read it before. So would have, what did he cross-dress? Well, remember the last live that we did? You guys, there's a playlist. Was it the last live? Yes, the last live that we did, I think we read the defendant, the paperwork. One of the defendants, remember, one of his defendants was a cross-dresser. So I'm wondering, what else don't we know? Like, what else don't we know? Let me see what else I have before. I said I wasn't going to make this a super long live, and I'm terrible at that. But I have like 5 more letters to read. So I'm going to go through them and try to decipher them beforehand. I have 5 more letters to read to you guys. And then we have 2 other court documents I want to go through. And then I want to go through an interview he did too. So we'll save that for tomorrow. I wasn't live during the day today, but I shall be live during tomorrow to catch up on other stuff. We're going to finish the book. We're close to the lawsuit book. So I would love if you guys tune in for that. I believe he was incarcerated under Jonathan Lee Riches. That must be his legal name. You're out with him like the mannequin thing, going to the cemetery. And it's crazy and genuinely concerning. Exactly. I will be sure to get the notifications when you go live. Okay, thank you. Yeah, please hit the like. I wondered where the mannequin came. No, you're good. He hears all this stuff. I wonder, crimes, is he triggered by White Boy and Nerdy's mannequin? Is he like triggered by that? Because he's obsessed with James Holmes' mannequin and stuff. So, these things, I know they seem like petty and not realistic, but when you suffer from mental health illnesses and you're going through things and you have to fixate on something or obsess with something or be addicted to something. And I didn't know the whole drug thing, that he was using drugs, allegedly, according to the prison paperwork. So there's a few things I learned here with you guys tonight that I didn't know. It's very educational. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. It's very concerning. Yes. Hi, Tricky. Good to see you, love. He has triggers and some know how to push the right button. Well, I know. I've been around a lot of like mental health situations. So I've seen people struggle with mental health physically and mentally, and I've seen people go through it. Thanks for having me. We love having you, Crimes. Please come back. All of you come back. That is it for tonight. Oh, I went over an hour. I was going to say I'll just do an hour, but there's so much more I want to show you guys. So tomorrow, I'll schedule it tonight. We'll do JLR tomorrow. We have Kenzie, Laura Owens, if you guys are into those cases. I want to do an update on 𝗝cie_𝗶𝗽, but I'd rather wait till Monday when there's a presser or when we have the indictment. So justice for Celeste. I would love to see all of you guys at the live for tomorrow with JLR. Me too, Melly. I was on a conservatorship back in 2009. I was also on SI. I obviously know, you know, thank goodness, doing, yeah, Kelly. I went through like a mental health thing, like I think it was like 10, 12 years ago. So I'm so much more like, I think it's so important. And I love to hear that you know, you survived that and you are doing great. That makes me really happy. So I think I think he worries more about what people think of him, not his actions. Yes. I agree. I think we need to get through all the JLR stuff first. No sucky fudge pack though. Okay, I'll schedule JLR live first thing tomorrow for the first live so we can get through these letters. I'm going to go through them and make sure I can read them all fully. He definitely cares what people think of him. Yeah. If he didn't, he wouldn't be so mad at White Boy, you know? Thank you, Debbie, for being here. Thank you guys all for being here. I hope you guys have a good rest of the night. Please make sure you're subbed up. Please make sure you have your notifications on. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.